phrase before, or this saying?
Yeah.
What is this?
Yes? So let's talk about what's ignorance, first of all.
Ignorance is.
Knowledge.
Yeah, it's like lack of knowledge.
Yeah.
Okay, and then, you ever heard this word bliss?
That's
Bliss?
like risky or something.
Not quite. Not quite. Has to do with happiness. Like happiness or joy, those kinds of things. Alright, so then what does this mean? This phrase?
You know less. You
Suffer less.
something like that.
Yeah, the less you know, the less you suffer. That's one way to think about it. Another way to think about it, come on in. Another way to think about it is, just the less you know, the happier you are. Yeah, what do you guys think about that?
I don't understand. For example, if you are ignorant, you're happy? Something like that?
No.
Well, I don't know.
As less you know, as more you have to.
Yes.
Do you think the more you know or the less you know?
It's
The
useful in
phrase?
the purpose. It's useful in the purpose because sometimes the women say, if I don't know, I don't suffer something.
Okay, so the less I know, the happier I am.
Yeah.
So you're saying in a marriage?
But it's most in this context. I think in the academic context it's not.
Not in the academic context. What about just like in life in general?
Lucky.
You don't know that problem. You don't know that problem.
Okay, so maybe if you don't know about a lot of problems, like problems in the world, maybe, then you're happier.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't know a lot of people.
Uh-huh.
You don't know that problem because sometimes people have different
Mhm.
causing problems sometimes.
Yeah, I think that could be true. But what I'd like for you to do is I'm going to put you into groups of, well, how many do you have? I'm going to put you into groups of 3. And in each of your groups, I'd like for you to just have a little discussion about situations where you think this might be true, where it might not be true. Maybe you think it's never true or it's always true. I'd like you to have a discussion about that. And then I'd like for one group member to just kind of present briefly, just like for a minute,
Okay.
on kind of what the discussion was based on. Okay? So I'm going to have you count off. So 1, is your 1?
2,
3.
1,
1,
3, 1.
Okay, so find your same number group, and you're going to have 5 minutes, okay?
2, 1.
1.
You forgot your backpack?
Yeah, that's on the box.
Oh, okay. Do you need it?
I called my friend who will bring it.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm sure about
That's fine.
1.
Yeah, well. Sorry, like, sure.
Agree.
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah.
maybe?
Actually, you cannot know everything. So sometimes ignorance.
You can live into a bubble
I heard people
if you doesn't know.
Oh, I don't know.
Around you will get better. So
basically I agree with you.
I agree with that sometimes. You should have a knowledge about
If I know so much
around you,
too much things,
problems
I
around
have
you,
to
are
worry
going
about
Exactly.
no. Start with if I don't know, okay, it's fine. Then that's the day. You can say
Somebody in a very risky
What other
situation. Someone put the gun to
Of
somebody
course.
even by
For
very missing every situation. So very often in that situation,
But you want to
find ignore,
right,
you know something happened. Nothing about to happen is but I know better. I think in that situation.
I'm more always on more
Sad when I heard
more
sad news from and many here and I read the news and I know that politics included violence or something like that. I start to worry. It's like sometimes I prefer unfolding the news. And but sometimes as one say
your girlfriend is cheating on you, and you don't know your girlfriend love you.
when you worry and
You're still so happy every
sometimes it's better when you know but you
It's just an
worry
example, I think.
things doesn't happen anymore or
in the future.
the powers
No, I
fix
don't.
Well, if you want to know everything, then you're gonna stressful and then tired of struggling to knowing the knowledge or happening. Sometimes I just keep everything and then to find myself. Actually, I used to want to know about my friends, some happening or something like that, but now I'm not interested much.
For myself,
Just
will be happy for
just ignorant.
not getting into
Even
trouble.
if I'm curious, but yeah, it's actually fine.
Do you agree? You know,
Yes.
no. I think if I have friends, I want to know what's making them feel good, what's making them sad. That's what helped me be a closer friend.
yes but sometimes you have problems handling
You?
Alright, you have 1 minute to
Yeah.
wrap up your thoughts and get ready to present. Okay?
Who's gonna present it? Present. Who's gonna present for us? Speech. Yeah. Yeah, it's fine.
So, what is our conclusion?
Conclude. We agreed that praise. So that is our conclusion.
But he disagreed.
Oh really? Do you want to present?
No. Yeah, I just came
Alright, if I can
here.
have
Warm up
everyone's
and
attention,
everything.
you could all face
Why you
forward.
don't? No, I really don't want to present.
If I could get you to turn your desk and face forward. Alright, which group would like to? Okay. Group here? Okay, alright. So what did you guys discuss? What was your conclusion?
Well, we have two ways, two points of view. Three people the group think that I agree with the statement because they said that if you don't know all the problems around you, maybe you be happy because you don't get in problems, in troubles.
Okay.
But I think that that could be true, but you will like into a bubble. For me, I think if you have if there is a trouble in the world, maybe you can learn about the trouble and try to make or develop a solution.
Okay. Alright. Thank you. That's good. Alright, and then this group?
I think it's it's the same with us because, of course, we agree maybe in, with the sentence in the context that you are not going to suffer if you are not involved.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I think if you want to figure out something, you need to be completely involved.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't want to do anything about the situation of problems,
Mm-hmm.
of course, so you could be stay out or far away
Mhm. So
the situation.
you're saying it's kind of like a consequence of having all this knowledge. It's you want to have the knowledge so that you can make a difference in the world and participate in it, but you also have to have all that knowledge of all the bad things.
Yeah,
Is that right?
of course.
Okay.
Because you need to face the problem in any time in
Mhm.
your life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Then if you face the problem earlier, it's better
Mm-hmm.
for you.
Okay. Do you all agree with that? Okay. All right. In this group,
And basically, we agree.
you agree?
Because if your girlfriend cheating on you and you still don't know, so you're fine. But after you know that answer, so you will, yeah.
Okay.
But he disagreed.
You disagree? Okay. What do you think?
Yeah, I think like if I have a friend
Mm-hmm.
and I want to know what makes him feel good,
Mm-hmm.
and if he's sad, I will ask him.
Mm-hmm.
That will help me help him everything.
So it helps you to be a better person. Is what you're saying. All right. Do you guys think that was an interesting phrase? Yeah, this is a somewhat common English phrase that you might hear maybe in movies or on the news or something like that. All right, so what we're going to move into now is we're going to work on some note-taking and a listening skill. And first I want to ask you guys, who took algebra in school?
Yeah. Me too.
Was it your favorite subject? No. Now?
Yes.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it's okay?
What do you need? Just ask.
So algebra. Okay, so for those of you who took algebra, what's kind of the basic idea in algebra? Like, what are you trying to do?
Reduce the equation.
Equations. Can you give me an example of an equation? Just a really simple one.
X squared
Okay, x squared.
plus 2
Plus 2, yeah.
minus 1
Like
equal
that?
to 0. Okay.
Like that? Something like
Oh,
that?
minus 1
Yeah,
equals
it's
to
the
2, but it's the same.
Okay.
It's the same.
Okay, so this x right here, what is that?
The
It's a ground?
Yo, something-
number is we don't know what's the number.
Yeah, it's the unknown.
Yeah,
The
unknown.
unknown, right? Okay. Okay. All right, so let's also talk about, so in algebra it's the unknown. Can you think of other situations where we use x to kind of symbolize something that's unknown or that's inexplicable? There's a TV show.
X-Files.
There's X-Files.
X-Men.
There's X-Men. What else is there?
Triple X.
It's a really, really famous TV show with like performers, singers.
X Factor.
X Factor, right. Okay. So in these situations, it's like X is the unknown, but I think X is good, right? Maybe? Okay. All right. So what I'd like to do is, before we get into the lecture, we're going to listen to just a little bit of a lecture. I have these vocabulary words that are going to help you follow the lecture. So I'd like for each group to take one. All right. And what I'd like for you to do is take about 4 or 5 minutes. I'd like for you to come up with a definition, and then I'd like for you to use it in a sentence.
The word is mean.
Yes, that word right there.
Yeah, I think it's in Spanish.
Oh, it's the same word? Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
It might have similar meaning.
I think
Like,
so.
right? Which word is that?
Like
Not really.
Some
No,
rough.
not really. It's kind of different.
It's like a cat.
Not really. Not really.
What is the right pronunciation of this word?
I'm sorry.
What is the right pronunciation?
Reconciling.
Reconciling.
Yeah, you can use whatever means you need to.
What is it?
That's your job.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what that means?
Okay, so I need you to find a definition and then use it in a sentence.
I think like maybe rushing and rushing, like crowd. Like in the city, the crowd with all cars, tourists.
It's like
Is it like what? Yeah, like contrasting, contradictory. Yeah.
It doesn't matter. What is the verb? Then continuous.
Progressive. Find a way. Oh, last 300 per week. I'm going to like the truth. Is like this?
Something, yeah, something.
I'm coming to say like this.
I think the word change the phrase. The sentence could be.
I think
Mine, like the word very
hungry or
ugly.
job life.
Yeah.
Would be this relationship with someone again after arguing with them.
Yeah. It's like you're fighting.
Yeah.
And then we can don't fight together.
I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Like to make the peace after the war.
Yeah. Do you guys have your sentence?
Not yet.
Okay.
You're France?
Should we use the ing form?
Which, for reconcile?
Yeah.
You could use reconcile.
Alright.
Yeah, if you'd like to.
Reconcile
Okay.
after fighting.
Thank you.
And the definition is
Did you find it?
Okay. Again,
Make them
good relationship with someone after
In this,
argue.
I think we gotta use purple because crafting. Craft is
you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, when you're ready, you can go ahead and
noun for noun, but
don't have a sentence.
crafting means
Yeah, I got the sentence.
kind of germ, I think. So we gotta use purple and
Move it out of the way.
for
Making a good
Find, yeah,
relationship.
find a way.
after arguing. Okay.
How are you guys doing?
we are finding definition.
Okay, so you find the definition and then you need to use it in a sentence.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and then whenever you're ready, you can write both of those on the board.
Okay.
Okay?
Then we make sentence. We're gonna make sentence.
But it is a noun.
No, you're gonna use verb form. I think because.
Crafting like make, right?
Mhm.
You can say this time crafting.
Fighting.
Or we can do that. I think. I think so. It's going alright.
And beef.
This is the name.
Arguing.
Well,
Arguing is me arguing with each other. Arguing with
Change the name.
grab it with
Change the waffle.
fighting.
That's what I'm reading. You're gonna stay in
Argument. Argue is the verb.
That's good, you're so smart.
Thank you.
I don't know what I'm doing.
The way.
My question is, you can just so you know.
Me too.
Alright, well, let's go ahead and get started. So disparate. Would you guys mind reading the definition and then your sentence?
Okay. Distinct in kind, essentially different and dissimilar.
Okay.
Good?
It's great. I would just change essentially. Just like that. Okay. Alright, and then your sentence?
The ideas about how to figure out the abort issue are disparate.
Or disparate. And then we're going to say the abortion. You're talking about babies?
Yeah.
So the ideas about how to figure out the abortion issue are disparate. Okay, so that just means that people are very divided and they can't agree on it. Okay, good job. All right, reconcile or reconciling. Do you guys mind reading your definition?
Making a good relationship after arguing with each other.
Okay. And then the sentence?
We reconciled after a fight.
Okay. Yeah, so reconciling. So it's coming back together after fighting, arguing, having a disagreement of some sort. Okay. All right, and then crafting.
To make or manufacture with skill and careful attention to detail. This art craft was carved with great delicacy.
Yeah, so crafting has to do with like creating something, manufacturing something, and it does have to do with attention to detail. So usually someone who's like making furniture, they're very skilled with what they do. Okay? All right, so before we watch the video, I just want to review note-taking skills. So can you guys think of what are some things that you should pay attention to when you're taking notes? What was that? Keywords, yeah. Alright, so keywords. What else?
Try to find my idea.
Main ideas. Okay.
Try to like the transition word like first, second.
Okay, so
How
listen
it
for
works.
transition words. Yeah. Okay, now what about when you're actually taking your notes? You're writing them down.
Not right sentence.
Okay, so what is that? What is that called?
Use symbols.
Abbreviations.
Yeah, abbreviate your language. Okay, and then someone says
Use like marker or like this.
you could use a marker or highlighters.
Telegraphic language.
Yeah. Telegraphic language. All right, can you think of anything else that you would need to do? Are you taking notes?
To accommodate with main ideas and keywords.
Okay, so you want to organize.
Yeah.
Organize your notes. So you could use columns. What else could you use?
Maybe try to understand carefully examples.
Okay, so maybe write your examples.
Dates and names.
Okay, yeah, so it's like keywords, right? So dates, names. But what about when you're organizing? So you could organize your notes in columns. What's another way? Something you do in writing class.
Like outline.
Yeah, create an outline. And then when do you make an outline usually?
When you're going to make the presentation.
Okay.
And
Say yeah.
Essay.
For an essay, that's right. But when you're taking notes, would you do an outline when you're taking the notes, or maybe you might go back and revise a little bit later and kind of organize your thoughts? Yeah?
maybe you can do a mental map.
A mental map? Okay, what do you mean by that?
I'm not sure if that is the right English name, but it's something like that.
Okay.
Put here could be the title of the, and you put here the main ideas.
Okay. So it's kind of like
pencil.
it's kind of like an outline a little bit.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. Yeah, so you could do a mental map if that helps you. So we'll put that under organize, doing a mental map.
Pencil, I don't know.
You say something?
I mean, it looks like a pencil.
Brainstorm.
Brainstorming?
It's kind of similar.
It's
like,
kind of similar to brainstorming, but maybe with the information you've been given. Yeah, okay. All right, so we're going to listen to a video, and it's going to touch on these key terms. It's also going to touch on this X that we talked about, the unknown. Okay, so I'd like you to all take out a sheet of paper, and you're going to need to take notes. And do you mind hitting the lights? All right, is everyone ready? Okay.
I have the answer to a question that we've all asked. The question is, why is it that the letter X represents the unknown? Now, I know we learned that in math class, but now it's everywhere in the culture. The X Prize, the X Files, Project X, TEDx. Where'd that come from? About 6 years ago, I decided that I would learn Arabic, which turns out to be a supremely logical language. To write a word or a phrase or a sentence in Arabic is like crafting an equation because every part is extremely precise and carries a lot of information. That's one of the reasons so much of what we've come to think of as Western science and mathematics and engineering was really worked out in the first few centuries of the Common Era by the Persian was really worked out in the first few centuries of the Common Era by the Persians and the Arabs and the Turks. This includes the little system in Arabic called algebra, and algebra roughly translates to the system for reconciling disparate parts. Algebra finally came into English as algebra. One example among many. The Arabic texts containing this mathematical wisdom finally made their way to Europe, which is to say Spain, in the 11th and 12th century. And when they arrived, there was tremendous interest in translating this wisdom into a European language. But there were problems. One problem is that there are some sounds in Arabic that just don't make it through a European voice box without lots of practice. Trust me on that one. Also, those very sounds tend not to be represented by the characters that are available in European languages. Here's one of the culprits. This is the letter sheen, and it makes the sound we think of as sh. Sh. It's also the very first letter of the word shay'un, which means something, just like the English word something, some undefined, unknown thing. Now in Arabic, we can make this definite by adding the definite article al. So this is al-shay'un, the unknown thing. And this is a word that appears throughout early mathematics, such as this 10th century derivation of proofs. The problem for the medieval Spanish scholars who were tasked with translating this material is that the letter sheen and the word shay'un can't be rendered into Spanish because Spanish doesn't have that sh, that sh sound. So by convention, they created a rule in which they borrowed the ck sound, the k sound, from the classical Greek in the form of the letter chi. Later, when this material was translated into a common European language, which is to say Latin, they simply replaced the Greek chi with the Latin x. And once that happened, once this material was in Latin, it formed the basis for mathematics textbooks for almost 600 years. But now we have the answer to our question. Why is it that x is the unknown? X is the unknown because you can't say sh in Spanish. And I thought that was worth sharing.
Do you mind turning the light back on? Thank you. Alright, so what I'd like for you to do with the notes that you took is I'd like you to take just a couple of minutes to kind of clean them up, to organize them in a way that makes more sense for you. So I think that's a good habit to have, is just to take your notes and just reorganize it. So take just a couple minutes to do that. Alright, so what I'd like you to do is get back into the groups that you were in earlier. And I'd like for you to first compare your notes. See if you guys came up with the same main ideas, the same key terms. And then I'd like for you to answer these two questions. Okay? So please find your groups and get started. And then, if you'd like to, you can just join in if you'd like. Okay? Sure.
Yeah.
So why these things
Instead of high,
because we can Spanish.
Because we have an Arabic letter called something like sh. Yeah.
So
It's like
people
this.
try to place that sound for the key sound.
This is the letter they talk about. It's called sh. Like it says.
Symbol,
You know?
on the X sound.
They say this letter, this sound is not available in Spanish. They try it, but they don't. Because that they mix it and make it
into
into
Spanish, yeah.
Where did Arabic come from? Europe? Where did Arabic come from?
from every country.
But it's kind of similar with European. Like
Yeah,
Spanish.
because in old days, Arabic came to Spain. The Spain was empire, Arabic empire. All Spain and Portuguese was Arabic empire.
The first question answer.
Yeah.
We cannot speak Spanish.
What language? It's Arabic.
Why is X? I don't know. You cannot speak Spanish without the Chinese.
In the middle of Arabic and Spanish.
What about you?
First question.
Oh.
Because the letter
Because the meaning of
because
the reason
the main
why
idea of the Jabra is the word they want to translate it.
is
But the first letter in the word, the sound for it is not available in Spanish. We have a lot of letters not available in Spanish.
Then number 2 answer is Arabic.
He said about the letter that represents a noun, X5, X1, it's used
Arabic
in
empire is from India.
He started to learn Arabic 6 years ago. He used
That is one of the biggest employers.
and the graphic
I'm sorry?
from the Arabic.
Just won't have a discussion.
That receives a lot of information.
You guys answer the questions?
And
Yeah.
the tourists
upload yesterday.
start with the
They are like all the
and
Yeah, it should be
full with water, and the water there was one candle, and make all the water warm. That's what like for 14 years. You read science want to know how just had just one candle from thousands is still working. And they turn off the candle, the candle didn't fire anymore. That's all.
The story I have Korean has every pronunciation. Man can speak. Any pronunciation with their word, like every pronunciation.
Yeah, it's translated, I guess.
They have CK sounds that convert
Why?
The letter, you change it like,
Sound?
this letter has 3 sounds. Just one letter has 3 sounds. So, shot, key, shoot. We have these sounds, I think we have
and after translate to training.
Alright, you wrote down everything? My goodness. I wish I could give you a prize for this. Alright, can I have everyone's attention? Alright, okay, so why is X the unknown?
sound cha is not available.
Yeah, we can
Say that
mix
again?
it together.
The sound cha is
Huh?
not available in Spanish.
It's not available in
Yeah.
Spanish.
Yeah.
Okay. So then what languages did mathematicians translate X from?
Arabic,
Greek,
Spanish,
Spanish,
English.
Yeah, there were a couple languages. So Arabic,
Spanish.
Spanish,
Spanish.
Greek,
Greek.
before Spanish.
Before Spanish, Greek,
Greek,
and English.
and English. I think it was it Greek Latin? Did anybody hear that?
Yeah.
I heard so. Turkey.
You heard which?
Turkey.
No,
Turkish?
Turkish was the empire.
Yeah, the empire.
The empire of the,
Okay.
Say that again?
the Turkish and Arabic was big empire, like they are all together.
Okay, so they were all part of the same empire?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you find that to be kind of interesting? That it was such a kind of simple answer, right?
Yeah.
All right. So this is all to help you just kind of refresh your note-taking skills and to prepare for the test tomorrow. So your homework is going to be take the quiz. If you haven't taken the quiz, it's online. It's on T-Square. You'll have to take it before 5 p.m. because it will close. Study for the test. Okay, the audio is on T-Square. Excuse me, it's under announcements and it's labeled test audio maybe 2 or something like that. And then your vocabulary for the test is going to be from chapters 2 and 3. And then work on your presentation.
Can I bring with me the notes or
Can you say that again?
can I bring the notes with me?
Yes, that's an excellent question. For the audio from T-Square, yes, you take as many notes as you'd like to and you can bring those notes to class. When you get to class tomorrow, you're going to put the notes here. I'm going to look through them and then I'll give them back to you. Okay?
Teacher, how many chapters the last?
So it's for chapters 2 and 3. That's the vocabulary. For the test? So the test is going to have vocabulary from chapters 2 and 3.
Yeah.
And then the listening? Yeah, the listening's on T-Square.
No more listening.
I'm sorry?
This listening is one, and in the third you have another.
There'll be a new one in class you've never heard. Okay?
The roots.
All right. So you're free to go. And if you have questions about your presentation,
Arabic was Spanish.
yes.
Like maybe
Really?
they say
I think more.
Yeah, more. Yeah. Maybe 400 years.
Right, so you can't make it to class tomorrow. Next up Monday. Okay. I would be okay with that. You are able to do that.
Translation of pillow. You know what is pillow? Pillow. When you sleep, yeah. When you put your head.
Yeah, you can do that.
Even if you're here, sometimes I'm hungry. Really care. You'll hear sometimes, but more sometimes you'll hear some